The medbay's sterile hum pulsed through Kzara's scales, a relentless drone that seemed to mock her fraying nerves. Her three-fingered hands, usually steady from years of training, trembled as they hovered over the human sprawled across the exam table. Lieutenant Daniel Cole, the sole survivor of the Terran scout ship Icarus Dawn, lay half-conscious, his left arm a grotesque anomaly that made Kzara's slit-pupiled eyes widen in horror. The arm was swollen to twice its natural size, veins bulging like writhing worms beneath translucent skin, pulsing with an unnatural rhythm. The air was thick with the metallic tang of human blood, laced with something acrid, alien, and utterly wrong. Kzara's mandibles clicked in a nervous tick, a reflex she couldn't suppress as she glanced at the bioscanner mounted above the table. Its holographic display flickered with chaotic data, anomalous compounds, unknown pathogens, and cascading failure of Cole's biological systems. The readouts were a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing, and Kzara, for all her expertise as a Vraxi medic, had never felt so out of her depth. Humans were rare in the nebula fringe, a scattering of stars so remote that even the Vraxi fleet, with its vast exploratory reach, seldom encountered them. Kzara had studied their biology in theory, carbon-based, oxygen-breathing, infuriatingly resilient. But theory was a poor substitute for the reality before her. Cole's arm looked like it might burst, the skin stretched so thin she could see dark, shifting shapes beneath, as if something alive churned within. The scanner's warning pulse read, tissue degradation imminent, foreign pathogen detected. But what was it? A virus from this uncharted planet? A parasite from the wreckage of his ship? Or something worse? Something the Icarus Dawn had stumbled upon in the void? Kzara's twin hearts thudded in discord, her tail twitching against the cold metal floor. She'd never treated a human before. None of the Vraxi medics had. And now, with the fleet's flagship orbiting a desolate rock and the rest of Cole's crew reduced to mangled corpses in the crash site, she was his only hope. "It's swollen. Should I touch it?" she hissed under her breath, her voice barely audible over the medbay's rhythmic beeps. The question wasn't just practical. It was existential. Vraxi protocol was clear. Isolate the unknown, observe, analyze. Contact with an unidentified pathogen risked not just her life, but the entire ship. Her training screamed caution. Her instincts recoiled at the sight of the pulsating mass. And yet her eyes kept darting to Cole's face. His sweat-soaked brow furrowed in pain, his lips moving in feverish mutters about the light and its calling. His chest rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths, each one weaker than the last. The scanner's timer estimated minutes, maybe 10, maybe less, before his organs began to shut down. Kzara's claw hovered an inch above the swollen arm, frozen by indecision. If she touched it, whatever was inside could spread. If she didn't, this human would die, and with him, any chance of understanding what had obliterated his crew. The medbay was a sterile cocoon of white and silver, its walls lined with instruments designed for precision and control. But there was no control here, only chaos. Kzara's mind raced, pulling at fragments of her training. The Vraxi were meticulous, their medical practices built on centuries of cataloging every pathogen in their quadrant. But humans were different. Stories of their tenacity echoed through the galaxy, half myth, half warning. They called it HFY, humanity. Fuck yeah, a phrase that carried both awe and derision. Humans touched things they shouldn't, survived things they couldn't, defied the universe's cruelty with a stubbornness that bordered on insanity. Kzara had dismissed the tales as exaggerations, the kind of hyperbole spacers told over too many drinks. Now, staring at Cole's deteriorating form, she wasn't so sure. Her eyes flicked to the quarantine protocol blinking on her console. Standard procedure. Seal the medbay, monitor remotely, dissect the remains later. Safe. Logical. Vraxi. But the human's vitals were crashing, his heart rate a jagged line on the scanner, his blood pressure plummeting. The swollen arm seemed to pulse faster, as if mocking her hesitation. Kzara's tail lashed against the floor, a sharp crack that echoed in the sterile silence. She could still walk away. Seal the room, let the human die, protect the ship. But something in Cole's face, his clenched jaw, his refusal to slip fully into unconsciousness, held her in place. He was fighting, Even now, against whatever was eating him alive, the scanner's data offered no clarity. It flagged compounds it couldn't identify, molecular structures that twisted in ways that defied Vraxi biochemistry. The planet below was a dead world, its surface a maze of jagged obsidian and toxic fumes. The Icarus Dawn had crashed there 3 cycles ago, its distress beacon barely audible until Vraxi fleet picked it up. Kzara had been part of the salvage team, her medkit slung over her shoulder as she stepped into the wreckage. The sight still haunted her, bodies torn apart, not by impact but by something deliberate, something that left claw-like gouges and pools of black ichor. Cole had been found half-buried under a collapsed bulkhead, alive but raving, his arm already beginning to swell. The team had dragged him back to the ship, ignoring his delirious warnings about the light in the dark. Now, as Kzara stared at the writhing mass of his arm, she wondered if they brought something else back with him. Her comm unit buzzed, snapping her out of her spiraling thoughts. Medic Kzara, came the clipped voice of Commander Wren, her superior. Status on the human. Is it contained? Zara's mandibles twitched. He's deteriorating. Pathogen unknown. I need more time. Time. Wren's tone was sharp, like a blade slicing through static. The Council wants him quarantined. If he's a vector, we vent the medbay. You know the protocol. Her heart sank. Vending meant flushing the entire bay into space, cold to pathogen, and her along with it if she didn't evacuate in time. He's stable for now, she lied, her eyes fixed on the scanner's warning. I can save him. I just need... No risks, Kzara. Wren's voice softened, but only slightly. Humans are reckless. Don't let their madness infect you. The comm cut off, leaving her in silence. Reckless. The word stung, but it wasn't wrong. Cole's arm was a testament to human recklessness. Whatever it caused this, he'd likely touched it, provoked it, invited it. And yet, as she watched his chest struggle to rise, she felt a strange pull, a flicker of something she couldn't name. Admiration? Pity? Humans were fragile, their lifespans a fraction of Vraxi's, their bodies soft and unarmored. But they fought against pain, against death, against a void itself. Zara's claw edged closer to the swollen arm. The skin was hot to the touch, even through her protective suit, and the shapes beneath seemed to shift as if aware of her presence. Her stomach churned, her instincts screaming to pull back. Vraxi didn't take risks like this. They didn't touch the unknown. But Cole's mutters grew louder, his voice raw and desperate. The light. It's in me. Don't let it out. His words were a fevered dream, but they carried a weight that made her scales prickle. Was he warning her? Or begging her? The scanner blared a new alert. Critical failure imminent. Organs shut down in 7 minutes. Zara's tail stilled, her mind sharpening to a razor's edge. 7 minutes. Not enough time to analyze. Not enough time to consult the Council. She glanced at the surgical tools on the tray beside her, a plasma scalpel, a containment field generator, a neural suppressor. She could cut into the arm, try to extract whatever was inside, but the risk was astronomical. If the pathogen was airborne, or if it bonded to her suit, the entire ship could be compromised. Her career, her life, everything she'd built as a medic would be ash. But Cole's eyes opened, glassy and bloodshot, locking onto hers. Do it, he rasped, his voice barely a whisper, but heavy with conviction. Cut it open. The words hit like a shockwave, reverberating through her. He knew. Somehow, in his fevered haze, he understood what was at stake. Was it courage? Madness? Or something deeper? Something uniquely human that she couldn't grasp? His gaze held her, unyielding, as if daring her to act, to be more than Vraxi protocol allowed. Her claw trembled, the plasma scalpel humming in her grip. The quarantine protocol blinked insistently on the console, but she ignored it. She could still walk away, seal the bay, let Cole die. Safe. Logical. Vraxi. But his eyes, his voice, his impossible defiance, they rooted her in place. Against every instinct, every shred of training, Kzara made her choice. The scalpel descended, slicing into the swollen flesh. Black ichor sprayed, hissing as it burned to the table surface. Cole screamed, a raw, primal sound that echoed in the med bay. Something moved inside the wound, a writhing, glistening mass, not flesh, not machine, but something other. It pulsed with a sickly green light, and for a moment, Kzara swore it looked back at her. Her hearts pounded, her vision narrowing to the thing in Cole's arm. The scanner screamed warnings, the calm buzz of Vren's voice demanding an update. But Kzara was beyond protocol now. She'd touched the unknown, crossed a line, and there was no turning back. The human's scream faded to a choked gasp, his body convulsing as the thing inside him thrashed. Kzara's claws moved on instinct, slicing deeper, trying to isolate the mass before it could spread. The ichor burned her suit, the air growing thick with its acrid stench. Every second felt like a lifetime, every movement a gamble against annihilation. Cole's hand gripped her arm, weak but desperate. "Don't let it win," he gasped, his eyes burning with that same defiant fire. Kzara didn't know if he meant the pathogen, the light, or something else entirely. All she knew was that she'd made her choice, and the universe would never be the same.